In this session, we'll discuss how to create a credit memo and manage the returns from the customer. So we'll go to the returns module. From the transactions menu, select return merchandise, then select the credit memo option. The credit memo is actually a confirmation of receiving the merchandise that was authorized before to be returned by the customer. So as we discussed in the previous session, it's recommended to have an RA or a return authorization document before creating the credit memo. To start entering the credit memo, click Add New Record icon. Then select the customer account, either type it in or select it from the customer master list. Once you select the customer, the system will give you the ability to either enter the credit memo information directly from without an RA number, or to select an RA number which is recommended. So if I click here on the RA number field, the program will display a list of open RA numbers for the selected customer account. Tap enter to select the required return authorization, and you will notice that all the information in the header have been carried over from the return authorization. Here you can put the posting date, which reflects actually the credit memo date, the date that the system will post this transaction to the inventory and will credit the customer for. Then all the information coming from the RA will be displayed, like the ship from address, the customer store address, the total authorized number of pieces and the total authorized amount, if there was any discount or taxes applied to that return authorization. Now in the lower part of the screen, you can modify certain information like the payment term code if it's different from what has been authorized, or if it's different from the customer defaults. You can change the reason for the returns, like damaged items, wrong item, color shipped, etc. And you can choose what warehouse location that the merchandise will be received or posted into. Furthermore, you can add any short notes other than the one entered on the RA. So you can put, for example, authorization approved, or approved per this person, etc. Then when you go to the details tab, you will see also that all the return authorization lines, style, colors, quantity and price have been carried over from the approved or from the return authorization transaction. However, you still can modify any information on the details level. So if, let us say, you did not receive the entire authorized quantity in that credit memo, you still can go on the size breakdown and modify the quantity to reflect the actual quantity received and will be credited for that customer for this credit memo. So you simply scroll to the required style, color, and you modify the quantity that you actually received and you will be crediting your customer for. Same idea apply to any changes other than the quantity information if it's different from the RA. Once you are done, you will review the total on the header again, which will reflect any modifications done on the line level. So now it reflects the new received quantity and the new credit amount, and it will show the balance on the return authorization, whatever still authorized but not received yet from that customer from this RA number. Once you verify everything and all the information is entered, click Save Modifications icon, and the system here will give you the choice either to receive partially, leaving the RA open, or receive the RA completely and cancel the open balance. This message come up because we received or we credited the customer for partially for the return authorization. So if you choose here to receive the RA completely canceling the open quantity or the open balance on the RA, the remaining balance on the RA will simply be cancelled, the RA status will be complete. Or if you choose partially, that means the system will keep the RA open with the balance, quantity and amount open for future transaction to be returned from the same customer. So I'm going to choose partially. And now the credit memo has been saved and the system will display the generated credit memo number. Hit OK to accept. And finally you can select either or not to enter a free text notes on that credit memo. To inquire an existing credit memo, either type in the credit memo number in the credit memo field or display from the list, locate the credit memo number and tap enter key to select the credit memo. Please note that the credit memo information is not editable once the credit memo is saved and posted to the inventory. So to void an existing credit memo and put back the RA to open status, click the void icon on the toolbar. The system will ask you to confirm the void action, choose yes, and then today's date will display by default. Click OK and confirm the date. The system here will ask you whether or not if you want to rebuild the return authorization transaction. If you select yes, the credit memo will be voided and the return authorization transaction will be reopened so you can use it for another credit memo.